Hey everybody, Captain B-Nard here with your BHDL3 Week 1 recap and Week 2 preview. So, we're going to be doing these videos a little differently than we have in seasons past. Basically, I just wanted to upgrade the weekly recap and preview videos. This season, they are going to be a little more detailed, concise, and polished. Not that the old format wasn't any good, but I'm hoping that you guys will enjoy these changes even more so. But the basic idea is going to be pretty much the same. We're going to take an in-depth look at the game that we have just played recently for the league, and then a little bit of a sneak preview into next week's game. So, having said all of that, we are just going to go ahead and take a look at Week 1. And our week 1 opponent here was Team Aquamarine, coached by Anastasia. Now, this is an individual who is new to the BHDL and Draft League in general, as well an individual who I've never played before. But as I understand it, she is a very seasoned competitive battler. And so on the screen here, you can see her full draft league roster top to bottom. And so looking at this team, I was fully expecting her to bring the Dragapult, Incineroar, Gyarados, Clodsire, and Corviknight. 100% expecting all of those Pokemon to show up, as they all seem to have a pretty good time against my team. And for the sixth slot, I was kind of torn. I thought there was about a 50-50 shot that I'd see either the Screamtail or the Araquanid in that spot, as they both seem to have pretty decent matchups against my team. Um, and I was not at all expecting her to bring the Meloetta or the Raichu, because neither of them seem to have a very good matchup against me. And I was not expecting the Thwackey either, because, well, it's a Thwackey. So, having said that, we're going to go ahead and throw it over to the team preview screen and see what actually happened. So here you can see the 6 Pokemon that she ended up bringing on the right-hand side, as well the 6 Pokemon I brought on the left-hand side. And so you can see she brought pretty much everything I was expecting. Of course, those top 5 Pokemon that I was 100% expecting, and then the sixth was the Screamtail. So really no surprises with the roster that she decided to bring this week. Looking at my team, we decided to bring our Scissor, Rotom Wash, Gudra, Alolan Ninetales, Mudsdale, and the Sneasler. So these were just the 6 Pokemon that I thought had the best matchup into her team. And so that's what I decided to bring, anticipating what she was going to bring, and kind of trying to plan accordingly, of course. So, having said that, we will go ahead and take a look at how the game actually turned out. So, as you can see here, and you probably already know this if you watched the weekly game, but we did end up winning this game 1-0. It was a great match, very close, very competitive. It was a very long game, too, well over 40 minutes. Just a very grueling, just really highly competitive game. Extremely hard fought game as well, in every sense of the word. And yeah, just hats off to my opponent this week, Anastasia, for one hell of a game. If you haven't watched it, which I assume everyone watching this probably has watched it, but if you haven't, I would definitely recommend going and watching that game, because it is an absolute clinic on both sides. And so, since we did win the game this week, I will go ahead and name my game MVP. And the game MVP this week certainly has to be Mudsdale. So Mudsdale did an absolutely phenomenal job in this game, surpassed my expectations, got 3 kills in this game, so took out half the team on its own, which is absolutely impressive. Before of course falling itself, which I'll get into a little more later. But yeah, I was just extremely happy and extremely proud of the performance of Mudsdale this week, as that was definitely the MVP on the team. So, but yeah, having said that, we're going to keep it rolling, and we're going to come to our next segment, which is going to be my key takeaways from this match. So, The first thing I have to take away from this match is I thought that this was a very even match on paper. So, looking at her team top to bottom, looking at my team top to bottom, I thought we had a very even matchup on paper. We both had some heavy hitters like the Dragapult on her side and the Sneasler on my side. We both had some really solid defensive Pokemon on her side, such as the Clodsire and Corviknight combo. On my side, the Scissor and the Rotom Wash. And just everything looked pretty straight up, and yeah, it looked to be a very fair game on paper. So that's always a plus, I think. Um, but additionally, I will say I also thought that I prepped well for this game, and I thought that I played okay in this game. So on the prep side of things, I will say that um, the sets that I brought, the Pokemon that I brought, anticipating what she was going to bring, kind of let me bring what I thought were the optimal Pokemon to the situation, which obviously I think worked out for me. As far as my sets, I didn't have anything super crazy aside from one thing that I am particularly proud of, which came up big for me in the game, and that was Choice Scarf Alolan Ninetales. I had that thing, as I had mentioned during the game, I had it on deck specifically for a situation where it was 1v1ing a Dragapult, and I had it EV'd and Choice Scarfed so that it would outspeed a max speed Dragapult guaranteed. And so that situation did come to fruition, but that was also a very big turning point in the game. So I was very proud and happy that that worked out well for me. Um, but additionally, I will say I also on the gameplay side of things, I will say I thought I played the game okay. I don't think I played particularly amazing, but I don't think I played poorly either. So I'm just gonna give it a medium kind of reception. I will say that specifically during the early going and the middle of the game, I didn't think that I was playing all that well. I don't think I was making the best of predictions, which early on kind of led me to losing both Rotom Wash and Scissor kind of prematurely because I just don't think that I was playing great, but I kind of turned it around toward the middle and then the end of the game, I think. Um, so there were some good plays, like obviously the Choice Scarf Ninetales. Toward the end of the game, Mudsdale came in and really started to clean up. Um, but yeah, I think I definitely could have played better in the early goings of the game. There were a lot of turns where she got free switches in just because I made uh, bad predictions. And, it just was what it was. So overall, yeah, I'd say it was pretty medium playing on my part. But additionally, other takeaways from the game here, I will say there were negative but minimal hacks in this game. So for how long this game was, I will say that there were very few hacks given the fact that this was an over 40-minute game. However, I think the only hacks that really occurred in the game were against me. So probably the big one was at one point in the game, her Clodsire hit a poison jab on my Alolan Ninetales, and it did unfortunately get the poison, which put my Ninetales on a timer, which kind of sucked because that would obviously limit the amount of time Ninetales could stay alive from that residual poison damage. As well, another little thing with Ninetales a little bit later on in the game, the turn after that Ninetales had taken out the Dragapult, she came in with the Gyarados that was Terra Ghost at that point. And so I go for the Blizzard. The Gyarados was sitting at a little under 50% health, I believe. And the Gyarados survives the Blizzard with like 1 HP, which I believe was a roll in my favor, depending on her spread on the Gyarados. So that was pretty unfortunate. For me as well. But all in all, I can't complain too much because there were very few hacks in this game, and though they were against me, they weren't enough to tip the scales, against me all the way, which was obviously great. Um, but yeah, for a 40-minute game, having that few hacks is pretty incredible, I think. And then finally, the last note I will say from this week is this was a very important victory for me, and the reason for that is kind of twofold. One, because obviously everybody wants to win their round one game in the league to kind of start the season off on a positive note. That's a given. But as well, for me, it was more than that because you guys who've been watching my league games now will know this. I have actually not won a league game in a very, very long time. And Actually, the last time that I had won a league game prior to this was all the way back in week 3 of the BHDL2. So I ended up on I believe, 4-game losing streak, I want to say, at the end of the BHDL2, which led me to going ahead and forfeiting my final weekly game there. And so, yeah, it was just a bad time for me. And I was really hoping to kind of break that losing streak and start this season off on a positive note. So, getting this win, though it was an extremely tight win, extremely hard fought win, it was really a big deal to me to be able to snap that losing streak and hopefully get back on the right track here for the BHDL3 right in the beginning. Although I have no illusions about that. Obviously, I know this is just the first week of the 9-week regular season. We have a lot of work to do if we want to make it back to the promised land here in the draft league. Which brings me to our final point here, which is going to be our next week's opponent. And that, of course, is going to be the Sleepy Laxingtons, coached by Lazy Boy. So here on the screen, you can see the full draft league roster of my week 2 opponents, and obviously he's got some pretty intimidating stuff on here. He's got a pretty nice looking team. It has changed quite a bit since we did the official power rankings video a couple of weeks ago here. I believe he used up all of his transactions for the season, which you get 5 transactions throughout the season to use to kind of change your team as you see fit. And so post week 1, pre-week 2, he actually used all 5 of his seasonal transactions to alter this team quite drastically. So yeah, looking at this team, it's definitely got some powerhouses. It's definitely got some utility, some versatility, and yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough one to take on. So hopefully we can go ahead and get it done. And like I said, we're just looking to put our heads down and do the work, and hopefully get back to the promised land here in Draft League. So definitely looking forward to that next week's match here, and yeah, hoping it's a good one. So, but that'll pretty much do it for this one. Thanks for watching again, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and/or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new videos in the future. So that's it, and we'll see you next time.